So Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In this video, we are going to talk about three things. One is adrenoreceptors. Second one is sympathomimetics. And third one is agonist of these adrenoreceptors. So if you haven't watched the previous video, that is the adrenergic transmission, that I have made a playlist of in the adrenergic response. So you should watch that video first and come to this video so your concepts are clear regarding the synthesis of these norepinephrine and epinephrine, etc., so we can further go on with the lecture. So adrenoreceptors, if you talk about the adrenergic transmission, as I told you, there's a synapse, and in the synapse you have the receptors on the postsynaptic membrane. And if the neurotransmitter that is released in the synapse is either norepinephrine or epinephrine, and the receptors that it is going to attach on, it is going to be the adrenoreceptors. So the receptors that respond to epinephrine and norepinephrine, so the receptors on the postsynaptic membrane that respond to norepinephrine and epinephrine, they are known as adrenoreceptors, as we all know, and they are part of the sympathetic system, that is the fight or flight responses. So norepinephrine, it is majorly released. For example, we have a situation in which there is this person, and like army officers, like the constables, they stand for long hours. When they stand, what happens? Their blood, it tends to pool up in their lower limbs. So pooling of blood in the legs takes place, and in that situation our sympathetic system is activated. It releases norepinephrine, and that norepinephrine, it is going to attach on these postsynaptic receptors and cause vasoconstriction. Okay, so that was the whole thing. Now, for example, if the same person or another person, they have not eaten for a long time and they are now hypoglycemic, that is, their blood sugar level have dropped down. So what will happen in the adrenal medulla, majorly the site of formation of the epinephrine, in the adrenal medulla, what will happen? Epinephrine will be released, and that epinephrine will now move from the adrenal medulla into the blood, and then it will be transported to the target tissues. So these are the kind of examples through which we can understand norepinephrine and epinephrine. So now when we discuss norepinephrine, we come to know that it attaches onto the postsynaptic receptors and then does its activity. So it is a neurotransmitter, similar in action to a neurotransmitter. Whereas when we talk about the epinephrine, it is being released into the blood. And what substances are released into the blood? They are hormones. So this is how both of these both of these chemicals that are involved in the adrenergic transmission, they are different. How are they different? Norepinephrine is like a neurotransmitter, whereas this epinephrine acts like a hormone. It has a similar action or mode of action to a hormone, being released into the blood and going to the target tissues. So this is how it takes place. Then we have the third thing, that is second thing that we will discuss for today, is sympathomimetics. What are sympathomimetics? So up till now we discussed that the system that deals with the fight or flight responses, or the system that activates our body responses, has neurochemicals norepinephrine and epinephrine in them. So the drugs that mimic the action of the sympathetic chemicals, that are norepinephrine and epinephrine, they are sympathomimetics. Sympatho means sympathetic system, and what were the chemicals involved in it? Norepinephrine and epinephrine. And mimetics, they mimic the action, they do the similar action to the both of these chemicals. Now these have been classified on the basis of their mode of action and on the basis of spectrum of the receptors. So these adrenoreceptors that are present on the postsynaptic membrane, they can be classified on their spectrum, that is, they are alpha receptors, beta receptors, and dopamine receptors. And in further alpha receptors, we have alpha 1 receptors, alpha 2 receptors, beta 1 receptors, beta 2 receptors, beta 3 receptors. And in dopamine, we have dopamine 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This one is general classification. We will discuss everything about them in detail in the upcoming lectures of this chapter. Now, what is mode of action? Mode of action can be, they are either stimulatory, they are either inhibitory. Stimulatory means they have the G protein involved with them, and the G protein is G stimulatory or GQ. The one that has G stimulatory one, it is going to enhance cyclic AMP. and the one that has GQ and G11 involved, it is going to enhance, it is going to be involved with IP3 and DAG phenomena, whereas the inhibitory one, they are either G inhibitory or G naught, and they decrease the levels of cyclic AMP. So this is how the mode of action has been differentiated. We will discuss how the G stimulatory increases cyclic AMP and all the mechanism involved in the next video, that will be on the mode of action of sympathomimetics. Up till now we are done that sympathomimetics can be classified on their mode of action, on their spectrum, and on their spectrum they are classified further into the alpha receptor, the beta one, the dopamine one, which are further have classifications, and on the basis of mode of action they are either stimulatory, they are either inhibitory. The stimulatory ones, they can involve the cyclic AMP pathway, the IP3 DAG pathway, whereas the inhibitory one only involve decrease in the cyclic AMP. So that is the action of these drugs, and we will also discuss examples of them in the upcoming lectures. Now, what are agonists? They are also drugs, but they enhance the activity or upregulate the receptors. Up till now, we discussed the type of receptors there were on the postsynaptic membrane. We discussed the mode of action they are going to show onto the postsynaptic membrane. But now we will discuss the drugs that enhance the activity or upregulate the postsynaptic receptors. These drugs can be direct or they can be indirect agonist. So direct agonist, they interact with and they activate the adrenoreceptors. These adrenoreceptors, they are activated or they are interacted by the direct ones. The simple examples of these are, our body makes the epinephrine and norepinephrine generally, but if we take epinephrine and norepinephrine from the outside, that is exogenous sources, in that situation the exogenous norepinephrine and epinephrine, because they act on and they activate the adrenoreceptors, they are direct agonist. But when we talk about indirect agonist, they are the type of the drugs that have the action of increasing the amount of norepinephrine and epinephrine being released into the synapse. So direct was directly acting with these receptors, whereas the indirect is going to increase the amount of the chemicals being present in the synapse. So this is the mode of action of indirect agonist. Now three types of mode of actions have further been classified. Firstly, as I told you that when we were discussing about the norepinephrine, it has three fates. Either it can attach to the receptor, either it can be metabolized into its final product, that was this vinyl mandelic acid. If you don't know, please watch the previous video to understand the degradation. And the third one was reuptake by the norepinephrine transporters. So now, what will these indirect agonists do? They are going to firstly block the metabolism. Whenever metabolism is blocked, what will happen? It will not be broken down. The amount of norepinephrine will now increase in the synapse. Second thing, or two things are further involved with this norepinephrine transporter. So what happens with this is, first of all, we can discuss about the drugs that block this norepinephrine transporter. The drugs that block this norepinephrine transporter, as we know, they were cocaine and they were tricyclic antidepressants. So they can generally block this norepinephrine transporter and hence enhance the amount of norepinephrine being present in the synapse. Either block the metabolism or either block the reuptake. And another mechanism, the last one that is involved, it is involved with the drugs that are going to enhance their release. And the drugs that are going to enhance the release without involving exocytosis or without involving calcium, they have been discussed also in the previous video. They have the mnemonic 8. Let me open my previous notes to show you. So the drugs that now are going to go through this norepinephrine transporter and go inside the vesicle through the VMAT protein, and whenever they will go into the vesicle, they will displace the norepinephrine from the vesicle and cause its release without exocytosis, rather through this norepinephrine transporter. These drugs, they are amphetamine, tyramine and ephedrine. Mnemonic is 8. And as I told you, they were indirectly acting mixed action sympathomimetics. So this is how they are going to enhance the release of norepinephrine into the synapse. So three things we have done about the indirect acting sympathomimetics. They can either block the metabolism. Okay, you can also remember this. When they block the metabolism, there were two enzymes I told you that are going to do metabolism. One was MAO and one was COMT. So the ones that are going to block the metabolism, they can either be MAO inhibitors or COMT inhibitors. So first thing first, block the metabolism. Second thing was to block the norepinephrine transporter, and that blockage was done by the cocaine and tricyclic antidepressant. And third thing was to enhance the release into the synapse, and that thing was done by these 8 type of chemicals, or these 8 type of drugs, that are amphetamine, tyramine, ephedrine, which are going to go inside the vesicle and displace the norepinephrine out of the vesicle and cause the release without exocytosis and without involving calcium ions. So I hope you understood each and everything that I wanted to tell about the general classification of adrenoreceptors, the sympathomimetics, and the agonist. In the next video, inshallah, we will be discussing the mode of action of the sympathomimetic drugs. Please like, share, and subscribe to my videos, and let me know in the comments below if you like the way of teaching of mine.